On the final night of WREN 940, Cal Whitman found a cassette tape he had recorded for his daughter and hidden for 26 years. It was wedged behind a stack of old weather cards in the bottom drawer of the studio desk. The plastic case was scratched. The label had curled at one corner. In blue ink, written by a younger version of his hand, were 4 words: for Nora. Someday, Gal sat back in the chair and listened to the station around him. The old transmitter hummed through the wall. The clock above the soundboard clicked toward 10. Outside the booth window, 2 interns carried boxes of records no one knew where to store. At midnight, WREN 940 would go, silent after 51 years on the air. Cal had been the voice of its late-night show for 32 of them. Truck drivers, nurses, security guards, new parents, and lonely people knew him as Cal after dark. He had a way of making callers feel like they had found a kitchen light left on, just for them. But the tape in his hand had not been made for a caller. It had been made for Nora. The studio door opened before he could decide whether to put it back. Nora stepped in, carrying a folded cardboard box. She was 34 now, with her hair tied loosely at the back of her neck and the same quiet eyes she had as a child when she was trying to understand an adult mood before entering it. "You still have the orange headphones," she said. Cal slipped the cassette under a program log. "They still work." "Of course they do. Nothing in here is allowed to retire before you approve it." He smiled because it was easier than answering. Nora had come to help him clear the studio after the final show. She said she did not mind. She said it would be strange if he did it alone. Cal had thanked her in the same voice he used for listeners who sent Christmas cards. Warm, polite, safe, at 10. The red on-air light blinked on Cal, leaned toward the microphone. "Good evening, night owls. This is Cal Whitman, keeping you company for one last ride on WREN 940. Nora stood by the shelves, taping the bottom of a box. On air, Cal's voice deepened. It softened at the edges. It became the voice people trusted with confessions they could not make in daylight. "If this station found you on a hard night," he said, "I hope you know it found me too." The phone lines lit up almost immediately. A retired nurse called to say Cal had gotten her through double shifts. A man from a highway diner said he had stopped drinking on a night when Cal told a caller to make it home and try again tomorrow. A woman cried quietly and thanked him for playing the same song after her divorce. Cal listened to all of them with patience. Nora listened to. That was the first thing that made him nervous. During a record break, she nodded toward the program log. "What are you hiding under there?" "Nothing important." "That usually means important." Cal moved the paper. Nora read the label from across the desk. "For Nora, someday. Her face changed before she spoke. "What is it?" "An old tape. I can see that. I made it when you were little. For me." He nodded, and someday never came. The question was quiet. Cal wished she had sounded angry. Anger gave a person something to answer. The next song ended. Cal had to go back on air. He introduced a weather update, read a sponsor thank you, and took another caller. All the while, he felt Nora standing behind him with 26 years in her hands. He remembered making the tape. Nora had been 8. Her school had a family reading night, and she was supposed to read one page from a book she loved. Cal had promised to be there. Then the evening host got sick, and the station manager asked him to cover. Cal told himself radio jobs were rare. He told himself Nora would understand one day. He called the school office, left a message, and stayed at the microphone. When he came home, Nora was asleep on the sofa with the book open on her chest. His wife, Lydia, had left the porch light on, but not the kitchen light. That was how Cal knew she was angry. The next morning, Nora said, "Did you hear me read?" Cal said, "I heard you practiced." It was not an answer, and they both knew it. That night, after everyone slept, he sat in the studio and recorded the cassette. He told Nora he was sorry. He told her he loved the way she sounded out hard words. He told her he was proud. He set everything into a machine because the machine did not look disappointed. Then he never gave it to her first, because the moment had passed. Then because too many moments had passed. At 10:54, another caller came through. A man named Percy said he had listened every night since his wife moved to Arizona. "You made the apartment less empty," Percy said. Cal closed his eyes. "I am grateful you let me sit there with you." Nora looked down at the tape. During the next break, she said, "You were good at that." "At what?" "Sitting with strangers." Cal turned in the chair. Nora's voice stayed even. "When I was 13, I used to call the station from my bedroom after Mum went to sleep." Cal's stomach tightened. "You what?" "I never said anything. I would just wait on hold and listen. Sometimes you would answer other people with so much kindness that I wondered if you saved that voice for them." The studio seemed smaller. "Nora, I know you loved me," she said. "I do, but sometimes I had to tune in to hear what your love sounded like." The red light blinked. 30 seconds. Cal looked through the glass at the empty hallway, the boxes, the wall of records. The life he had built out of speaking into rooms where no one could see his face. For years, he had believed the microphone made him brave. It let him say beautiful things. It let him steady other people. It let him be generous without the risk of being interrupted by someone's eyes. But maybe the microphone had also made him smaller. Maybe it had let him be tender at a distance. At 11:40, the station manager stepped in and whispered, "Final speech at 10 to midnight. We need you clean by the hour." Cal nodded. His farewell speech was printed in front of him. 3 pages. Gratitude, memories, station history, good night. It was good. Maybe even beautiful. Nora placed the tape beside it. "You don't have to play it," she said. "I wasn't going to, I know." That hurt, because it was true, at 11:50. Cal opened the microphone. He looked at the speech, then at Nora. Then he folded the pages once and set them aside. "Friends," he said, "I had a polished goodbye ready. But tonight, I keep thinking about all the things we say clearly to strangers and postpone with the people who know us best." Nora looked up. Cal's voice shook, and for once he let it. "So, I am going to play one last song. After that, WREN will sign off. If there is someone in the room with you, or someone you can reach tomorrow, do not wait for a perfect voice. Use the one you have." He started the final song. Then he turned his microphone off. The on-air light stayed red, but his voice no longer belonged to the city. It belonged to the room. Cal faced his daughter. "I am sorry I made strangers feel easier to love than you." Nora's eyes filled, but she did not rescue him. Good, he thought. Let it cost something. "I used the show to be the father I was afraid to be at home," he said. "And you deserved more than hearing me through a wall." Nora held the cassette in both hands. "What's on it?" Everything I should have said after reading Night. Do you want me to listen? Cal looked at the old tape. For 26 years, he had treated it like proof that the feeling existed somewhere, even if he never delivered it. But love, trapped in a cassette, was still silence. Only if you want to, he said. But I would rather say it now. So he did. Not perfectly. Not like radio. He stumbled. He repeated himself. Twice he stopped and had to begin again. He told her he was proud of the child she had been and the woman she had become. He told her he was sorry for confusing being admired with being available. He told her he wanted to learn how to be close without an audience. The final song played under the door. At 11:59, Nora stepped forward and hugged him. It was not the kind of hug that I raised years. It was the kind that allowed one new minute to begin at midnight. WREN 940 went silent. No static. No dramatic burst. Just the soft click of a switch. And then the strange peace of a room no longer performing. Cal placed the cassette on the desk. Do you want to keep it? He asked. Nora shook her head gently. Not tonight. Then she pointed to the recorder beside the board. But maybe we can make a new one. Not for broadcast. Cal looked at the blank tape beside the machine. For the first time all night. He smiled without using his radio voice. They sat side by side in the quiet studio and pressed record. No listeners. No callers. No perfect sign-off. Just a father and daughter. Learning the sound of being in the same room. Sometimes the voice that comforts everyone else is still hiding. From the one conversation that could change your life, and sometimes healing begins when you turn off the microphone, stop performing tenderness, and let love become something close enough to hear you breathe. If this story stayed with you, carry its lesson into your own life. And for more stories that help you see life differently, subscribe to Inner Shift.